Hi all, it's Kara from the Transformation Mom for ABCDE, and I'm back with another little tutorial. So first I wanted to start off and show you, here's the finished door page. Like I said last time, you didn't really need to see me gluing on this tissue paper, so I did that off camera. But here's the finished door page. You unwrap it and you open it up and you have this really cool picture inside. So I'm very excited about how this turned out. So now this is ready for embellishing and it's ready for your pictures and everything else. So I can't wait to use this in my journal next week. So the next page that we're going to do is this simple waterfall page. So what's nice about it is that it has this bow that you can tie and it keeps everything closed. So there's its little closure. And when you untie the bow, you have all these little flip-ups here. So there is all these little itty-bitty flip-ups. So we're going to start with this today. So the first thing that we need to do is cut our base. And I'm just going to get out my cutter. And I have this sheet of paper that I think should work from when I was cutting other stuff. Let me see if I can get 8. It's going to be a little short. Okay, so we'll get this one. So what I need is, we need a sheet that's for the standard base size. So this is going to be 8 1/4. This one's not even really long enough, so I'm going to have to go this way with it. Okay, so let's cut 8 1/4. And then we need to get 5 1/4. And then the next thing that I normally do is get a piece of pattern paper. And I usually take that, I subtract 1/4 inch from this page. So this was 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. So you're going to want your pattern paper. So your pattern paper is 5 by 8. Okay. So I already have done that part because I wanted to do that tissue paper again, and it's hard to glue on that tissue paper in the moment. So there is my tissue paper page over there. So that's my base of my page. So that's going to be the base of this page. So the next part you do is you're going to get another little piece of paper. I'm going to grab any scraps here that might work. They're all a little too small. You're going to cut 5 pieces that are 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. And you come out with something that looks like this. So 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 square. And again, you're going to need to cut out some pattern paper for that. You have 5 flip-ups. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you need 10 pieces of some kind of pattern paper that is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And that's going to fit on here. Okay? You with me so far? I hope so. When you get these 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 squares, you're going to put them on your scoreboard, all 5 of them, and score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Plus then we have our base page, and you're going to have 10 pieces of pattern paper. I have 4 here, and then I have some more ready to cut that I didn't want to have to do on camera for you guys. And then you also are going to need a piece of paper. I'm going to move this all aside. That's going to be the base of our waterfall. And that page needs to be 4 1/2 by 6. So we are going to go 4 1/2. So it's the width of your pages. And then the 6 comes from how long it's going to be for all of these pages, because you're going to put this one down and it's going to be 1/2 inch. You're going to put this one down, so there's an extra 1/2 inch. So when you flip this down, you're going to have 4, the 4 plus the 1/2 inch. So this is 4 plus a 1/2 inch, so 4.5. And then this adds another 1/2 inch, 5, 5.5, and then 6. So that's why it's going to be 4.5 by 6. Okay. So now we're going to get some art glitter glue, and we are going to put some art glitter glue on the back of this. And of course my glitter glue has some kind of stick in it, because I didn't put my pin back in when I was trying to fix some other stuff. Actually, it helps if you take the lid off. Aha! Score! It works now. Have to find a little humor in myself. And what you're going to do is you take that 6 by 4.5 piece, and it's now 4 by 4.5 with the fold. And you're going to line this right up at the top. Get my handy dandy messy towel. You want to make sure that's really affixed. Sorry, I was not in screen. Okay, then you'll flip that up. You'll get the next one, put some glue on it, and you're going to line the top of this one up right with the bottom line of that one. Now I usually try to make sure that, like, when they're going to fall, they're not going to be all G-whoppered. So, you know, try to pay attention, like when you can see here how they're lined up over here. So make sure that you're looking at all of that to make sure that your album isn't, or your waterfall isn't all messed up. Now I'm gonna set this aside for a few minutes while we have a little discussion, a little chat. I'm turning that over. So now, one of the things that somebody had asked me is, if you have a quote page like this and you want to try to use it for one of your pages, how do you handle that? So my pattern paper needs to be 4.25 by 3.75, okay? So that's what it needs to be. So what I usually start out by doing is I get my Tim Holtz ruler and I put it down on something, and I try to first use the one side, try to find the top and the bottom of the quote, and I usually try to look, and so like this one, if I add about 1/8 of an inch to the top and the bottom, is 2 1/4, okay? So 2 1/4 divided by 2 would be 1 1/8. So I'm just gonna not do it in decimals, 1 1/8, so that you can see this. So I get my 0 point here, and I again I'm going to make sure that there's 1 1/8 on either side of this, so 1 1/8. Okay, so it's just approximately about that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, I usually get my pencil because I don't want to mark it. So it's going to be 3.75 tall, remember, because we just made these 4.5. And when we scored this, it ended up being by 4. So remember again, our pattern paper is going to be 4.25 by 3.75. So now, half of 3.75, so 3.75 divided by 2. So that's going to be 1.5. It gives us 3. 1 3/4 gives us 3 and I'm having trouble doing math today. Gives us, this is why I should never try to do this on the fly. So it's going to be 1.75, which then you're going to have to add an extra 1/8 to, so it's 1 7/8. So if I go 1 7/8 and 1 7/8, okay, that should get me to 3, right? So 1 7/8 plus 1 7/8, this gives us 14/8. So that actually gives us 2, 3, and 6/8. So I need another 1/8. I need to add another 8. Yeah. So that gives us, so now if I measure that, that should be 3.75. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing from side to side. So I look from side to side using the ruler. It's about 2 1/4. So 2 3/4. So again, it's going to be, so here's the 0 point, and we need it to be 4.25, which is 2 1/8. So 2 1/8 and 2 1/8. So that's how I'm going to cut these. So if I go that way, now I said that this should be 3 3/4. So if I go to 3 3/4, I should be really close to my mark. And I am. And the same thing with this. If I line up my mark here, and I turn it over this way, and I go to 4 1/4, there we go. So there's that part, and I just wanted to show you one on, because I had somebody ask me if, you know, how you do that. So now what you're going to simply do is you're going to have to get your pattern paper, and I'm only going to do one sheet just to show you, but you're going to just simply, and again, I'm using my Scotch ATG gun with this, with good old Scotch adhesive in it, because I couldn't stand the other stuff anymore. And you're just gonna put the pattern paper on there, and then you can, I'm gonna use the quotes probably on the back side. Okay. So I just did one. Now, the other day I said to you I usually use 4 times worth of ribbon that I need. So remember I said you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have about 4 times of ribbon here. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to get my Tim Holtz roller again, and we're going to go to, we need to move over. 2 1/4. So that's your 0 point. Come back down over here at about 2 1/4, and that's your 0 point. Okay. Now I'm going to get, notice I really like sequeing when I'm doing ribbon. So I'm just gonna line it up there, put her on there. And that will get the ribbon attached to the back. I found my picker tool that I couldn't find the other day. Let me make sure that's really down there, burnish it a little bit. Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to comment on right here is I got a little overzealous with tape, and you can see that it's sticking up over there. So I want to flip that down just so that it doesn't get sticky anywhere else. I'll find the middle of my ribbon, and then I usually just eyeball this. You could, you know, if you're really picky, you could go put your roller on here like that and really put the center on the center. Okay, so now I'm going to get another piece of my 1/2 inch sequin. I'm going to put it on the back of the ribbon. And I'm going to burnish down, pull it off. I'm going to get my Scotch ATG gun. Now if you notice, this ribbon has a print on it, and the print is actually facing up to us. So when you flip it over, which you'll see in a second, so we're going to get this. Now, this is 6 and this is 8 1/4. So you have to make a decision now of where you want this on here. And we'll talk about the ribbon in a second. So remember, this is 8 1/4, so that would be 4 1/8. So here's the center of this piece of paper. So if we're going to put it directly even, the top's going to have to go here. Okay? The same thing with side to side. Again, this is 5 and it's 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 would be 2 5/8. So 5 1/4 would be, that's 2, 3, 4. Oh no, this thing's only, the middle part's only 4 1/2. So it's gonna have to be like right there and right there. Okay. So I might get my head in the frame, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try to line up those lines. Still trying to make sure I'm in frame though. Okay. So when you're happy where it's at, you just put it down. Now, what I was saying about the ribbon is that when I put it down, I was putting the flat side down, which means that the print's not going to show on the outside. But what I wanted was that when you flip this up and actually tied your bow, that's when you see the print on this ribbon. So that was actually intentional. You know, if it's double-sided ribbon, then you don't have much of a choice. But with this one-sided ribbon, you have to figure out which side you ultimately want to show on the outside. So there is this page started. So I am going to go and continue on with decorating, putting the rest of the pattern paper on these pages, and I'll be back with another technique tomorrow. Again, it's Kara from Transformation Mom for ABCDE. I hope you guys have an awesome day.